I knew it would be inevitable that eventually that I would catch COVID because of the negligence of someone else. And the fact that I was living amongst people who was working on a base but in a different detail. And these people were going to multiple buildings every single day around multiple people who were not following the COVID directive as for when it comes to mask wearing and social distancing. And I'm out on a base, and the same thing is happening with my crew that I'm working with. So, in my concern, I wanted to address the issue with my camp counselor and let them know that, hey, this is what's going on. Nobody's wearing masks, and I don't want to catch COVID because other people are failing to follow these instructions while we're out on the base. So they had a meeting, they talked to everybody, and they basically told us how important it was for us to wear the mask if we did not want to go through a lockdown and if we did not want to be put back in our rooms. So for the duration of the pandemic so far, I hadn't been like on a lockdown. I was always able to move around. I was always able to be out. And so I enjoyed that little freedom, and I did not want to lose it because I knew what the lockdown looked like. I seen it happen to so many people. So I'm out on a base. We're working every single day. We're going from building to building. We're tearing down things. That was my job on the base. Working with recycling, I was pulling cars off of AC units, and I'm talking about 20-ton units at a time. We're breaking down panels for fighter planes. We're taking all this stuff, learning the difference between the gold copper, the white copper, the bronze copper. We're breaking all this stuff down, and it's making our recycling detail lots and lots of money. One week we bought in like 20 some $1,000 for the base. And so they were so excited about the work we did because we had done the work. We actually got down there and we scrapped this metal. We got down there, we tore these wires and pulled the copper out of it. And so they wanted to go to the camp, and they wanted to talk to them about giving us a raise. Because this job that I'm working now on a base, I'm only making 29 cents an hour, which was one of the more of a top paying jobs. So they went to talk to our camp counselors and everybody, and they had the audacity to basically say, oh, we can't afford to give them a raise, which we didn't understand because we're contracted and y'all are paid a certain amount of money for us to go out there, but we're still getting paid very little money. Like the people on the base couldn't believe that we were only making 29 cents an hour. Well, they shot that down real fast, told us that we should be grateful that we're making that kind of money because the people at the camp aren't making that. Unless you're working in trust fund where you're making at least $1, $2, or $3, then, working on the base was a luxury. However, who are treating you not like an inmate, but like a real person, like somebody that's actually a coworker to them. Like they're not exposing us on a base. They're not basically telling people, oh, these are prison inmates. Never that. Like basically the people that I worked around were showing us the utmost respect. And just not on a respect level, like they were actually like really, really cool people. Now, mind you, these are contractors. These are people who are not in no ways, shape, or form affiliated with the BOP. None of these people have had any BOP training, and I doubt that any of these people even know anything about what PREA actually is. So I knew a little bit about PREA while being on the base. It's not something that they give us papers and tell us to sign. And hey, if you think this is happening to you, then you need to let us know. It was none of that. I just basically would read between the lines on things. And so on my time out on the base, I was enjoying it. Of course, the people that we were working with were giving us things that we should not have had while we were out there, but we were just enjoying it because we felt like, hey, at the end of the day, we're coming out here, we're busting our tails, and they're looking after us. So on the base at this time, I have a really good friend, and she has been locked up for a very, very long time, since she was 18 or 19 years old, and we call her the name Baby. We call her that because I guess she was a baby when she came into the system, and she's like 36, 37 years old at this time. And on the base, she's a very, very hard worker. Like, she works very hard. She has the privilege of, while being on the base, leaving and being unattended. And so I noticed after working with her on the base for a few months that, she was leaving for a large, a long amount of time, She was missing for periods of times that were unaccounted for. And despite the contractor stepping to the side and speaking with her, she continued to do this. And I remember on the base, it was several times when we would be out with our recycling boss and we would see her, and it would be this same guy that she would be communicating with. But it was the way they would be communicating, like she would start ducking and trying to drive off and move around as fast as possible, no matter where we saw her at. And the other details saw them out on the base communicating as well. And so those contractors talked to her about that. Well, this continued to go on. And so while we're working on the base, they're ordering up DoorDash, getting it delivered to us. And of course, this guy comes in one day.